Well, thank you for the question, Mr. Hazel. And I learned about public service at the feet of my mentor, Congressman John Lewis, who spent his entire life and his entire career fighting for civil rights and voting rights. And that's why I will be a champion for criminal justice reform in the United States Senate. We have to recognize that racial profiling and brutality, these are not isolated incidents, as Senator Purdue insists. This is a systemic problem in our criminal justice system. It's why we need a new Civil Rights Act. It's why we need national standards for the use of force. It's why we need a new Voting Rights Act to end racial profiling and racism in criminal justice. When a young black man, Ahmaud Arbery, is shot to death in the street in broad daylight here in Georgia, and local police and prosecutors look the other way, that makes a mockery of the 14th Amendment equal protection guarantees of the U.S. Constitution. And that's why we need to strengthen civil rights laws. Senator Purdue won't get this done. He didn't even show up when he was invited to address the NAACP about how we can reform this system.
Thank you very much. David Perdue, it is your turn to ask a question to Shane
I'd like
Hazel.
To rebut that. I have a
sure. 30 seconds for a rebuttal first.
But I thought Shane also got to rebut that for 30 seconds.
Shane, would you like to rebut that?
I don't think Mr. Ossoff answered the question. I think what we have is an expediency move. I think what we're doing is playing party politics once again, when of course, instead of supporting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, there is a presidential nominee out of the Libertarian Party that is actually fighting for the end of qualified immunity, the drug war, police militarization, civil asset forfeiture, and no-knock raids. That is who,
10 seconds.
If we were being honest and consistent, who we would be supporting, John.
All right.
And now
Senator
I would
Perdue?
like to rebut, Donna. Thank you very much. You got a tough job tonight, Donna. You know, Jon Ossoff, this is what I'm talking about. This is all talk. The 94 law that Shane mentioned, and I agree 100% with him, that law was written by Joe Biden, and it locked up more black men in this country than any law in the last 25 years. What we did in the last 2 years is pass criminal justice reform that freed 3,000 African-American young men who were low-level nonviolent drug offenders
10 seconds.
who got caught up in minimum sentencing. They had 26 years, the Democrats did, to do something about criminal justice reform, and they did zero.